Yes, so it's recording, Roj. Yeah.
Okay. So you are seeing my screen, if I'm right?
No, Prabhuji.
No?
No, Prabhuji.
You don't see me?
We see you, not the screen.
Yeah, I didn't share. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपगतं मह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टाप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2, Ajamil delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. Shri Badarayaniruvacha Evam te Bhagavaddūta Yamadūta Bhibhashitam Upadharyat Dharyatatan Rajan Pratyahur Nayakovidaha. Shukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, the servants of Lord Vishnu are always very expert in logic and arguments." After hearing the statements of the Yamadutas, they replied as follows. Shri Vishnu Duta Uchuhu Aho Kashtam Dharmadarsham Adharma Sprashate Sabham Yatra Dandeshva Apapesho Dando Yedriyate Vrita. The Vishnuduta said, "Alas, how painful it is that irreligion is being introduced into an assembly where religion should be maintained. Indeed, those in charge of maintaining the religious principles are needlessly punishing a sinless, unpunishable person. Prajana pitaro yecha sastara sadavah samaha yadi syat vaishamyam kam yanti sharanam prajaha. A king or governmental official should be so well qualified that he acts as a father, maintainer, and protector of the citizens because of affection and love. He should give the citizens good advice and instructions according to the standard scriptures and should be equal to everyone. Yamaraja does this for he is the supreme master of justice, and so do those who follow in his footsteps. However, if such persons become polluted and exhibit partiality by punishing an innocent, blameless person, where will the citizens go to take shelter for their maintenance and security? यद्यद् आचरति श्रेयान् इतरस्तत्तत् ईहते स यत् प्रमाणः कुरुते लोकस्थम् अनुवर्तते. The mass of people follow the example of a leader in society and imitate his behavior. They accept as evidence whatever the leader accepts. यस्यांके शिराधाय लोक स्वपिति निवृत्तः स्वयं धर्मम् अधर्मं वा न हि वेद यथा पशुः स कथं न्यरप्ति न्यर्पितात्मानं कृतमैत्रम् अचेतनं विश्रम्भणीया भूतानां सघृणो दोग्धुम् अर्हति. People in general are not very advanced in knowledge by which to discriminate between religion and irreligion. The innocent, unenlightened citizen is like an ignorant animal sleeping in peace and its head on the lap of its master, faithfully believing in the master's protection. If a leader is actually kind hearted and deserves to be object of a living entity's faith, how can he punish or kill a foolish person who has fully surrendered in good faith and friendship? अयं हि कृत निर्वेशो जन्म कोटि अमहसाम् अपि यद्व्याजहार विवशो नाम स्वस्ति अयनम हरेः. Ajamil has already atoned for all his sinful actions. Indeed, he has atoned not only for sins performed in one life but for those performed in millions of lives. For in a helpless condition, he chanted the holy name of Narayana. Even though he did not chant purely, he chanted without offense, and therefore he is now pure and eligible for liberation. Ete naiva hi aghonosya kritam syad agha niskritam yada narayana eti jagada chatur aksharam. The Vishnu Dutas continued. Even previously, while eating and at other times, this Ajamil would call his son, saying, "My dear Narayana, please come." Although calling the name of his son, he nevertheless uttered the four syllables Narayana. Similarly, by chanting the name of Narayana in this way, he sufficiently atoned for the sinful reactions of millions of lives. Stena surapo mitra druk brahma guru talpa gaha Sri Raja Pitra Gohanta Yecha Patakino Pare Sarveshamapi Aghavatam Idam Eva Suniskrutam Nama Vyaharanam Vishnu Yatastad Vishaya Matihi. The chanting of the holy name of Lord Vishnu is the best process of atonement for a good thief of gold, for a thief of gold or other valuables, for a drunkard, for one who betrays a friend or relative, for one who kills a brahmana, or for one who indulges in sex with the wife of his guru or another superior. It is also the best method of atonement for one's own murder, one who murders woman, the king or his father, for one who slaughters cow, and for all other sinful men. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu, such sinful persons may the attract the attention of the Supreme Lord, who therefore considers, because this man has chanted my holy name, my duty is to give him protection. न निष्कृत्यैरुदितैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः तथा विशुध्यति अघवान् वृतादिभिः यथा हरेर्नाम पदैरुदाहृतैस्तत् उत्तमश्लोकगुणोपलम्बकम्. By following the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or undergoing atonement, sinful men do not become as purified as by chanting once the holy name of Lord Hari. Although ritualistic atonement may free one from sinful reactions, it does not awaken devotional service, unlike the chanting of the Lord's names, which reminds one of the Lord's fame, qualities, attributes, pastimes, and paraphernalia. नैकान्तिकं तद्धीकृत्यपि निष्कृते मनः पुनर्धावति चेत् असत्पते तत्कर्मनिर्हारम् अभीप्स्यतां हरेर्गुणानुवादः खलु सत्त्वभावनः. The ritualistic ceremonies of atonement recommended in the religious scriptures are insufficient to cleanse the heart absolutely, because after atonement one's mind again runs toward material activities. Consequently, for one who wants liberation from the fruitive reactions of material activities, the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra or glorification of the name, fame, and pastimes of the Lord is recommended as the most perfect process of atonement, because such chanting eradicates the dirt from one's heart completely. Adhainam mapanayata krita seshagha niskritam yadaso bhagavan nama mriyamana samagrahit. After that, at the time of death, this Ajamil helplessly and very loudly chanted the holy name of the Lord Narayana. That chanting alone has already freed him from the reactions of all sinful life. Therefore, O servants of Yamaraja, do not try to take him to your master for punishment in hellish condition. Sankyetyam parihasyam va stobam helanam eva va vaikuntanama grahanam aseshagha haram viduho. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly to indicate something else, jokingly. for musical entertainment or even neglectfully, this is accepted by all the learned scholars of scriptures. पतितः स्खलितो भग्नः सन्दष्टस्तप्त आहतः हरिर् इति अवसेनाः पुमान्नार्हति यातनाः. If one chants the holy name of Hari and then dies because of an accidental misfortune, such as falling from the top of a house, slipping and suffering broken bones while traveling on the road, being bitten by a serpent, being afflicted with pain and high fever, or being injured by a weapon, one is immediately absolved from having to enter hellish life, even though he is sinful. Gurunam cha lagunam cha guruni cha laguni cha prayaschittani papanam gnatvoktani maharshibihi. Authorities who are learned scholars and sages have carefully ascertained that one should atone for the heaviest sin by undergoing a heavy process of atonement, and one should atone for lighter sins by undergoing lighter atonement. Chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, however, vanquishes all the effects of sinful activities regardless of whether heavy or light. तैस्तानि अघानि पुण्यन्ति पूयन्ते तपोदानव्रतादिभिः न न अधर्मजं तद्धृदयं tad api sangri sevaya. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. Ajnanad atava jnanad uttama shlokanāmanat sankirtitam agham pumso dahed edo yatha nalaha. As a fire burns dry grass to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burns to ashes without fail all the reactions of one's sinful activities. Yata gadam viryatanmam upayuktam yadrichaya ajanatopi atmagunam kuryan mantropi udahritah. If a person unaware of the effective potency of a certain medicine takes that medicine or is forced to take it, it will act even without his knowledge because its potency does not depend on patient's understanding. Similarly, even though one does not know the value of chanting the holy name of the Lord, if one chants knowingly or unknowingly, the chanting will be very effective. Shri Sukavacha Tamevam Suvinirniya Dharmam Bhagavatam Nrapa Tam Yamya Pasam Nirmuchya Vipram Mrityor Amumuchan. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued. My dear king, having thus perfectly judged the principles of devotional service, with reasoning and arguments, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu released the Brahmana Ajamil from the bondage of Yamadutas and saved him from imminent death. Iti pratyudita yamya duta yatva yamantikam yam ragno yatha sarvam aja chakshur arindama. My dear Maharaj Parikshit, O subduer of all enemies, after the servants of Yamraja have thus been answered by the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, they went to Yamaraj and explained to him everything that has happened. Dvija Pashad Vinirmukto Gata Bhi Prakritim Gataha Vavande Sirasa Vishnoho Kinkaran Darshanotsawaha. Having been released from the nooses of Yamaraja's servants, the Brahmana Ajamil, now free from fear, came to his senses and immediately offered obeisances to the Vishnudutas by bowing his head at their lotus feet. He was extremely pleased by their presence, for he had seen them save his life from the hands of the servants of Yamaraj. Tam vivaksham abhipretya mahapurusha kinkaraha सहसा पश्यतस्तस्य तत्रान्तर्दधिरेम anagha. O sinless Maharaj Parikshit, the order carriers of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Vishnudutas, saw that Ajamil was attempting to say something, and thus they suddenly disappeared from his presence. Ajamilopi athakarnya dutanam yama krishnayo धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं त्रैविध्यं च गुणाश्रयं भक्तिमान् भगवति आसु महात्म्य श्रवणाद् धरे अनुतपो महान् आसीत् स्मरतो शुभम् आत्मनः. After hearing the discourses between the Yamadutas and the Vishnudutas, Ajamil could understand the religious principles that act under the three modes of material nature. These principles are mentioned in the three Vedas. He could also understand the transcendental religious principles which are above the modes of material nature and which concern the relationship between the living being and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Furthermore, Ajamil heard glorification of the name, fame, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He thus became a perfectly pure devotee. He could then remember his past sinful activities which he greatly regretted having performed. Aho me paramam kashta abhut avijitatmanah yena viplavitam brahma Vrishalyam Jayatatmana. Ajamil said, Alas, being a servant of my senses, how degraded I became. I fell down from my position as a duly qualified Brahmana and begot children in the home of a prostitute. Dhinmam vigarhitam sabhir dushkritam kula kajjalam hitva balam satim yomayam surapim asatim agam. Alas, all condemnation upon me. I acted so sinfully that I degraded my family tradition. Indeed, I gave up my chaste and beautiful young wife to have sexual intercourse with a fallen prostitute accustomed to drinking wine. All condemnation upon me. Vruddhav anatau pitaro nanya bandhu tapasvino aho maha maya duna tyaktva Akritena Nichavat. My father and mother were old and had no other son or friend to look after them. Because I did not care of them, they lived with great difficulty. Alas, like an abominable lower class man, I ungratefully left them in that condition. सोऽहं व्यक्तं पतिष्यामि नरके दारुणे धर्मज्ञाकामिनो यत्र विन्दन्ति यम यातनाः. It is now clear that as a consequence of such activities, a sinful person like me must be thrown into hellish conditions meant for those who have broken religious principles and must there suffer extreme miseries. किम इदं स्वप्न आहो स्मृत साक्षादृष्टम इहाद्भुतम क्व याता अध्यते ये मां व्यकर्षन् पाशपाणयः. Was this a dream I saw, or was it reality? I saw fearful men with ropes in their hands coming to arrest me and drag me away. Where have they gone? अथ ते क्व गथा सिद्धा चत्वारश्चारुदर्शनाः व्योम व्यामोचयन् नीयमानं बद्ध्वा पाशैरधो भवः. And where have those four liberated and very beautiful persons gone who released me from arrest and saved me from being dragged down to the hellish regions? अथापि मे दुर्भगस्य विदु विबुद् विबुधोत्तमदर्शने भवित्व्यं मङ्गलेन या येनात्मा मे प्रसीदति. I am certainly most abominable and unfortunate to have merged in an ocean of sinful activities, but nevertheless, because of my previous spiritual activities, I could see those four exalted personalities who came to rescue me. Now I feel exceedingly happy because of their visit. अन्यथा म्रियमाणस्य न शुचेर् वृषलीपतेः वैकुण्ठनाम ग्रहणं जिह्वा वक्तुम् इहार्हति. Were it not for my past devotional service, how could I, a most unclean keeper of a prostitute, have gotten an opportunity to chant the holy name of Vaikuntapati when I was just ready to die? Certainly it could not have been possible. क्वचाहं कितवः पापो ब्रह्मज्ञो निरपत्रपः क्व च नारायणति एतद् भगवान् नाम मङ्गलम्. Ajamil continued, I am a shameless cheater who has killed his Brahminical culture. Indeed, I am sin personified. Where am I in comparison to the all auspicious chanting of the holy name of Lord Narayana? Soham tata yatishyami yata chittendriyanilāh yatha na bhuya atmanam andhe tamasi majjaye. I am such a sinful person, but since I have now gotten this opportunity, I must completely control my mind, life, and senses and always engage in devotional service so that I may not fall again into the deep darkness and ignorance of material life. विमुच्यतम इमं बद्धम अविद्या काम कर्मजं सर्वभूत सुचोच्छान्तो मैत्रः करुणा आत्मवान् मोचये घृष्टम् आत्मानं योषिन्मय्यात्ममायया विक्रीडितो ययैवाहं क्रीडामृग इवाधमः. Because of identifying oneself with the body, one is subjected to desires for sense gratification, and thus one engages in many different types of pious and impious actions. This is what constitutes material bondage. Now, I shall disentangle myself from my material bondage, which has been caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead's illusory energy in the form of a woman. Being a most fallen soul, I was victimized by the illusory energy and have become like a dancing dog led around by a woman's hand. Now I shall give up all lusty desires and free myself from this illusion. I shall become a merciful, well wishing friend to all living entities and always absorb myself in Krishna consciousness. ममाहम् इति देहादौ हित्वा मित्यार्थ धीर्मतिं दास्ये मनो भगवती शुद्धं तत् कीर्तनादिभिः. Simply because I chanted the holy name of the Lord in the association of devotees, my heart is now becoming purified. Therefore, I shall not fall victim again to the false allures of material sense gratification. Now that I have become fixed in the absolute truth, henceforward, I shall not identify myself with the body. I shall give up false conception of I and mine and fix my mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. इति जाता सुनिर्वेदः क्षणसंगेन साधुषु गंगाद्वार उपेयाय मुक्त सर्वानुबंधनम बंधनम. Because of a moment's association with devotees, the Vishnudutas, Ajamila detached himself from the material conception of life with determination. Thus freed from all material attraction, he immediately started for Haridwar. स तस्मिन् देवसदन आसीनो योगम् आस्थितः प्रत्यार्त्रेन्द्रियग्रामो युयोज मन आत्मनि. In Haridwara, Ajamil took shelter at a Vishnu temple where he executed the process of Bhakti Yoga. He controlled his senses and fully applied his mind in the service of the Lord. Tato gunebhya atmanam viyugnatma samadina yuyuje bhagavaddamni brahmani anubhavatmani. Ajamil fully engaged in devotional service. Thus, he detached his mind from the process of sense gratification and became fully absorbed in thinking of the form of the Lord. Yarha uparata dih tasmin adrakshit purushan puraha upalabhyopalabdhan prag vande shirasadvijaha. When his intelligence and mind were fixed upon the form of the Lord, the Brahman Ajamil once again saw before him four celestial persons. He could understand that they were those he had seen previously, and thus he offered them his obeisances by bowing down before them. हित्वा कलेवरं तीर्थे गंगायां दर्शनादनो सद्या स्वरूपं जग्रे भगवता पार्श्ववर्तिनाम्. Upon seeing the Vishnudutas, Ajamil gave up his material body at Haridwar on the bank of the Ganges. He regained his original spiritual body, which was a body appropriate for an associate of the Lord. साकं विहासयसा विप्रो महापुरुष किङ्करैः हैमं विमानम् आरुह्य ययौ यत्र श्रियः पतिः. Accompanied by the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, Ajamila boarded an airplane made of gold. Passing through the airways, he went directly to the abode of Lord Vishnu, the husband of the goddess of fortune. एवं स विप्लावितः सर्वधर्म दास्यापतिः पतितो गृह्यकर्मणा निपात्यमानो निरये हतः वृतः सद्यो विमुक्तो भगवन्नाम गृह्णन्. Ajamil was a Brahmana who, because of bad association, had given up all Brahmanical culture and religious principles. Becoming most fallen, he stole, drank, and performed other abominable acts. He even kept a prostitute. Thus, he was destined to be carried away to hell by the order carriers of Yamaraja. But he was immediately rescued simply by a glimpse of the chanting of the holy name Narayana. नातः परं कर्म निबन्ध कृन्तनं मुमुक्षतां तीर्थपादानुकीर्तनात् न यत् पुनः कर्मसु सज्जते न मनो रजस्तमोभ्यां कलिलं तथोऽन्यथा. Therefore, one who desires freedom from material bondage should adopt the process of chanting and glorifying the name, fame, form, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, at whose feet all the holy places stand. One cannot derive the proper benefit from other methods such as pious atonement, speculative knowledge, and meditation in mystic yoga, because even after following such methods, one takes to fruitive activities again, unable to control his mind, which is contaminated by the base qualities of nature, namely passion and ignorance. य एतं परमं गुह्यम् इतिहासम् अघापहं शृणुचां श्रद्धया युक्तो यश्च भक्त्यानुकीर्तयेत् न वै स नरकं याति नेक्षितो यमकिङ्करैः यद्यपि अमङ्गलो मर्त्यो विष्णुलोके महीयते. Because this very confidential historical narration has the potency to vanquish all sinful reactions, one who hears or describes it with faith and devotion is no longer doomed to hellish life, regardless of his having a material body and regardless of how sinful he may have been. Indeed, the Yamadutas who carry out the orders of Yamaraj do not approach him even to see him. After giving up this body, he returns home back to Godhead, where he is very respectfully received and worshipped. म्रियमाणो हरेर्नाम गृणन् पुत्रोपचारितम् अजामिलोऽपि अगाद्धाम किमुतो श्रद्धया गृणम्. While suffering at the time of death, Ajamil chanted the holy name of the Lord. Although the chanting was directed toward his son, he nevertheless returned home back to Godhead. Therefore, if one faithfully and inoffenselessly chants the holy name of the Lord, where is the doubt that he will not return to Godhead? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll just go, we'll anyway have to cover this chapter with purports in 2 sessions. I would, Hare Krishna, I would prefer, maybe we'll have tomorrow to go through the, what happened to me? To go through this purports. Satish Prabhu, as far as I know, we have covered first half of this chapter in last, before we went through this 9-day Ram Katha. But thank you. Through this, we read through them again, and we will cover them again. Maybe focus for this week, we can focus on this chapter properly. Um, yeah, I think this week is full week, right?
Full.
When is the poster holidays?
From Friday.
This Friday, no?
This Friday, Good Friday.
Okay. Yeah, maybe by Friday we'll cover this. Yeah, thank you very much for joining. But we've already heard that there is a hope. Of course, Ajamil is not anyway so degraded. I would say I'm unlimitedly degraded than him, but at least I can see that there is some hope. When he attained Vaikunta, at least I will attain the feet of sadhus by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Yeah, we will discuss the purports tomorrow. Thank you very much. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.